All right, Friday morning, the Audible is on the air. Kim Bokamper with you here. We got you on Facebook Live. We've got you on Periscope. We're going to have the opportunity to get your questions in throughout the program and have some guests coming up. Assistant defensive line coach Andre Carter is going to join us. We're going to have some other people wandering by, and we'll catch them as we go. But if you want to get your questions in, you're watching us on Facebook Live or you're watching us Periscope, go ahead and just send them in via those outlets. I said Periscope, just go to the bottom or your message bar, send it in. Facebook Live, you know what to do there, and go ahead and get that on, and we'll get you going. But kind of a quiet day out here at training camp. Not that the guys weren't out on the field working hard, but there's a lot of speculation. Obviously, Ryan Tannehill, what his future is, what his health is, that's what everyone is speculating on. And I can tell you this right now. Everything that's out there is a lot of speculation. Not sure which way or the other this thing is going to end up, but I think this is one of the things that you kind of take with a grain of salt, what you're hearing on Ryan Tannehill and what his health is, and wait for things to happen. Wait to see what happens over the course of the next week, and things will certainly get out, and you can bet that everybody in the media out here is trying to dig for every possible tidbit they can about Ryan Tannehill. In his stead, Matt Moore filling the quarterback responsibility. Looked very good out there today and really had a good chance today to go ahead and see Devontae Parker doing some of the things that he's been doing so far early in training camp and seeing some good things out there. Joining us now, assistant defensive line coach for the Miami Dolphins, Andre Carter. And Andre, how you doing, man?
I'm
nice
doing
to
good,
see you.
sir. How's it going?
Last time I saw you were in the AC. You weren't sweating so much, but a little hot out here now, isn't it?
It's a little cool.
Yeah.
A little cool for Florida.
You spent time in Florida, but you spent a lot of your career out in San Francisco in the Bay Area where the weather's crisp, it's clear, and there's no humidity.
No humidity.
Taking you a little time to get used to this?
I had a little taste of it when I was with the Washington Redskins.
There you go.
Those summer camps, so it's bringing back memories. But I think I told you, my mom and dad's roots are Fort Lauderdale, so I remember those summers coming out as a kid and hanging out.
So you knew what to expect.
I already knew what to expect. Yeah.
Hey, so talking about knowing what to expect, you get a chance to work with this group, and I look at your group, and you got a really nice mix out there.
Yes, we do.
You got the veterans, you've got all pros, you got guys that have done big things, and then you got a nice mix of young guys that can learn from those guys and then come in with that youthful enthusiasm, kind of bolsters that meeting room for you. How's it been working with this group so far?
I tell you what, it's been phenomenal. But I always say every group kind of starts with the vets, and I feel like with Cam, Sue, Branch, he's kind of coming into his own. Hayes, those guys really set the tempo for us, not only in the meeting rooms but also in practice. And so, when it comes especially to defensive line position, it's always great to have vets that lead by example. And those guys have been doing a top job day by day, especially during this grind during training camp.
Obviously, you look at the young guys. Charles Harris comes in. Devin Gottschall. You got Vincent Taylor, the two tackles that are working in there, along with Terrence Fede, Jordan Phillips. I mean, you got a good group there. When you see the young guys, what impresses you about what they do?
Their work ethic.
Yeah.
Their work ethic says a lot. Every now and then they get their heads beat in. It's the rite of passage for being a rookie. But one thing I like about them is they come out fighting every day. And that's something that we can live with as coaches. As long as you're coming out and fighting and just representing yourself as well as representing the D-line, we're happy.
So I see one thing, and it's been going on in the NFL for a long time. It was going on before you got there, while you got there, and it's still going on now.
Yes.
I watch and I see the veterans out here that are fighting for jobs.
Oh, yeah.
It's their careers. And the young guys, but they always reach out and help the young guy.
They do.
Guy might be fighting for their job, but they're willing to go out and spend some extra time out here in the field. I saw Andre out here working the guys. Cam, you see, that brotherhood of working with guys with the thought being, look, if you guys get better, our team as a whole gets better. And sometimes it's hard for people outside of this business, I think, to understand that dynamic between a veteran helping a young kid that's trying to take his job from him.
It is. And of course, I think in this business or in any business, this is such a competitive market, especially just being a pro football player for a long period of time. However, when you see vets work with young guys, not only is it important to the room, but it builds a level of camaraderie, what you're trying to establish. It creates a sense of family because at the end of the day, when the roster is all set and complete, you got to look at the man next to you and say, hey, this is a guy that I'm playing with for 16, 17, 18 weeks for as long as I can to get to where we need to get to.
Obviously, you guys' attention is on those guys up in the front of the line. But you look behind you, kind of new set of linebackers in there. Kiko Alonso is there from last year. But you got Raekwon McMillan, you got Lawrence Timmons, Mike Hull, all the guys, Neville, that are trying to get their job done. When you look behind one step and look at those linebackers, what do you like about what you see so far out of that group?
Well, I'll tell you, man, with our linebacker core, it's amazing with the level level of talent we have, not only from an athleticism standpoint, but from a mentality standpoint. But I give props to Coach Frank Bush. I always say it takes a maniac to train a maniac, and he's definitely the man for the job. And he's just honing on those guys every day, just harping on technique, like every other coach. But I'm very pleased with the group on the back end.
You've been around for a long time. You talk about your dad played, and you played in the league. And it's funny how the game changes. It never stays still. It always changes. And it's gone from back in my day, and I'm sure part of your day, where it was a grab and pull. That was, and now it's beating hands down. It's knocking hands down. It's leverage. It's shoulder down. It's all those types of things. Is it taking a while for you to adapt over the years to this style of game as opposed to the way it was at when you actually played the game?
A little bit every now and then. But I tell you what, there are some new school players that still have that old school mentality. So that part of the game will never change, because at the end of the day, when you put the pads on and the helmet on, football's still football. So, there's a little – every now and then you see a little finesse play, but – hey, when it comes to Sundays, man, we're banging heads.
No, I'm not saying it's easy. It's just a different way. It's a different way of getting back there now. And you look at most of these guys, and especially I look sometime at their bios and what they do and their training. A lot more guys doing martial arts because it's all that stuff, blocking, all those things. So it's a little different training mentality. But look, you find what you need to do, and then you find a way to help improve on what you need to do to get there. And you see these guys doing it.
Find your craft, develop it, and make it work, and be consistent with it. That's always important.
Been a lot of talk about this defensive football team last year. A lot of big plays. Also a lot of yards given up, especially in the run game. Some breakdowns on the backside of it. Over the course of the year, you guys have developed depth from guys that played last year. You bring in a lot of new players. You get a chance to look at this defense as a whole. How do you feel about the way it's progressing and the way these guys are adapting to the way that Matt Burke wants them to run this defense?
Well, it's coming along. I think, like I always say, every day is always a process. You're going to have your highs and lows, but the most important thing is communication and telling guys, look, this is if we're trying to become a certain way where there's the best defense or try to just be better from last year, these are the certain levels of what we need to become. And it's just, one, running hard to the ball, being physical at the point of attack, being great tacklers. Those tangibles are very important to becoming a great defense.
How good can these guys be on that side of the football?
There's that old school Marine quote: "The easiest day is yesterday." That's kind of how I look at it. So if they can take their game to a new level every day and progress from there, I'll be very pleased.
I've been watching practice the last few days, and I come out here and I see Sean Jefferson, and he looks like he got a mini-me standing next to him. And I saw him yesterday throwing passes to him. Now he's got a notepad. He's writing down notes. It's your son Quincy out there working with Andre. You got a defense line. What your son wants to be a wide receiver or what?
I think he wants to be a wide receiver. Right now, he's in soccer right now. He's in club soccer right now. I couldn't be proud of him, but I think his grandfather played, I played, and I always mess with him. I'm like, look, your grandfather played nose, I play in. I said, you want to play wide receiver? You're ruining the car tradition here. But I always say, as a dad, I support whatever path he takes as long as he does it with love.
Sean looks like he's leading. Sean like he's leading him in to be a coach. I told you, he had the practice sheet. He saw the little pen. He was writing things down. My man's into it.
I'll tell you one thing. There was a particular play where it was a deep ball wide receiver. I forgot what wide receiver made a play, but we're watching a film. Next thing you know, I see this little man coming across, giving a receiver a high five. He's Mr. Energy.
He's got to be having the time of his life out here, huh?
Well, this is what you live for, especially providing your kids with this experience.
Absolutely, these opportunities.
So you'll never forget it. Hanging with the wide receivers in the training room.
So how old is Quincy?
Quincy is 9.
9?
9 years old.
Yeah, so this is going to be great for him.
But he loves it. And I tell you what, the day I got hired here, he was already on his iPad looking at the roster. He knew who he needed to talk to. But it's great. But I think what's important, especially for these kids, is just exposure. Bring them out here to training camp and just look at their heroes and look at their idols. Then you never know who we'll see in the next 10, 15 years.
That's what I was thinking about when I was watching him a little earlier. And yesterday, you had the youth football teams out today. You got a couple high school guys teams out yesterday. And we talked to one of the kids from Edison yesterday the other day and said, hey, what do you think about what you saw? I said, man, I see these guys working hard.
That's it,
And for your son Quincy, even at 9 years old, I mean, you can sit out here and go, hey, look, if I ever want to play it, whether I want to be a professional soccer player or whether I want to be a coach or whether I want to be a teacher or whatever, this is about being a professional And he can see every day how hard it takes, how much work it takes, how much effort, and how much you need to put your heart into it to get it there. It's certainly got to be a great education for him.
It was. He loved it, and he's talking about it nonstop, taking pictures, shaking hands. But I appreciate Coach for working out with him when they're running routes. He's going to live this. He'll keep on talking about it and live it till forever. So I'm very happy for him.
So you got this week, you got tomorrow, you got a scrimmage coming up, and then you got preseason game number 1 on Thursday down here. How important is this week going to be when you start to shuffle this roster around and decide, where the cream's rising to and falling?
Well, you said I think every week is definitely important, and it starts basically tomorrow with the scrimmage. I'm sure we'll go live, of course. It's a scrimmage, but this is where you kind of separate the sheep from the herd and see who wants it, who's willing to give their all, who's willing to fight, especially at times when they're tired. These are prime moments where you're like, this is where you develop your roster. Yeah.
Since I got you, I'll give you the question everyone's been asking me. They go, hey, how's the first-round pick, Charles Harris? How's he looking out there? I said, well, the guy was running past everyone in OTAs. All of a sudden now that offensive lineman, he got that punch. That punch is back now, so it's a little different. But how's he progressing?
Well, like I said, not only with him, Gacho, Vincent, it's all process. Yeah. Rookies that they're gonna have to earn their keep and lick their wounds, and every now and then, maybe ego gets crushed. But I always tell everybody, hey, tomorrow's another day. Just learn from your mistakes.
You know what? The next play's another play.
Learn from your mistakes and grow. Just as long as you're growing as a coach, I'm happy with that.
Yeah. One thing that really impressed me about him when he came out here after the draft was reaching out.
Yes.
Reaching out to a Jason Taylor, reaching out to a Cam Wake, reaching out to guys and saying, hey, what do I need to do to get to your level? What I need. And for a guy that young, that soon being in here, kind of tells you a little something about the makeup of the kid from Missouri.
Well, that's what they say. It's about learning how to be a pro. And by talking to veterans and talking about the X's and O's technique, the aspect of the game, that's what he's doing. He's learning how to be a pro because these are the guys that been in it for a while. They've been, some more than others, longer than others. But he's getting an idea of like, okay, these are the parameters of where I need to go. Yeah,
I got to see working with those guys out there. It's good stuff, man. It's great to have you on the ball club, and appreciate you stopping by, man. Always a pleasure, my friend.
Appreciate it, man.
Take care of that. Terry, take care of my man Quincy over there.
He'll be there week one.
Good. All right, take care. Andre Carter, assistant defensive line coach for the Miami Dolphins, and really a good group there. I mean, like I said, we were talking to him a little bit earlier. Nice mix of young, nice mix of veteran players that can work in there. And while we're waiting for our next guest, let's go. Jeremiah Bullfrog, how's Jay Ajayi doing with concussion protocol? Well, that's where he's at. He's in the NFL's concussion protocol. And when you get in that protocol, you kind of become a hidden man. You don't see him. You're kind of in the background. So he's going through the process, joining me by my pal Joe Rose over here. And Joe,
I was waiting for the break. I was waiting for the – I swear I was thinking commercials. This thing keeps going.
I was thinking about having a cigarette here in between, but
it is Friday
night. How about you go Taylor out here doing some work? Oh,
she loves it out here, man. She's into all the stuff.
Keep
and
these guys away from her, man. You know,
oh no, she's already got her eye on some guys. No question. We got to keep
all right, so let's get some of these questions here. Jay, well, look, I already got with that. Jay Ajayi's in the protocol, and I don't know that
he'll be fine.
I don't know we'll see him out here for maybe another week.
Right, probably going to miss some preseason. Listen, he was going to only get a few carries in the third preseason game, and that was it. Yeah. I don't need the most physical back, one of the most physical backs in the league, to show me what he can do in preseason.
Yeah, for me, Jay Ajayi would be like paint drying. There's sometimes you paint something, and it's dry, but you go, if you touch it, you get a fingerprint on it.
Right.
You don't want to touch it. Just let it make sure. Make sure it's dry. Let it be cured. Let it be ready.
He's fine.
And then move out.
Yeah.
Joe, I started the program. Obviously, the story Ryan Tannehill, speculation on where he's at. And there's a lot of things floating around out there. Everybody's got this. Everyone wants to break the news.
Oh no,
everyone wants to be on. Everyone wants to be Dr. Oz and figure this thing out. But I'm kind of in the camp, Joe, that until I hear exactly, because you get into a knee, and I heard guys talking yesterday. Well, hyperextended his knee. That had to, just because you had something on your knee and you hurt it again doesn't mean it's the same thing. So until I hear what the final outcome is, I'm going to kind of hold my cards a little close to the vest. Your thoughts and kind of what's been wandering around over the last day and a half now?
Well, listen, anytime you find out a guy hurt same knee again, it's not good. If it's 6 weeks, 8 weeks, and I could come back, and there's no guarantee when I come back it could be great again. The Dolphins got a real strong team around them. So they've got to be doing their homework upstairs, Bo, and looking at what's out there, how much it's going to cost. Are they willing to take the role they're going to be asked? I think they got to be somewhat sensitive to Matt Moore. I don't know if you agree with that, but Matt played really well the last 4 games. And so it's got to be the right guy coming in because this guy's about chemistry, and that's important to him. And so all those things come into play. How much a guy want? Does he have to be a starter? You may be a backup. And if it's one of those guys, whether you're trading Bo, looking at a free agent, or getting a guy out of the booth, all those things have to come into play over the next few days.
I can tell you this for a fact. Knowing this football team, knowing Mike Tannenbaum, knowing Chris Greer, knowing those guys, you can name any quarterback that you can name out there, and these guys have thought about him. I mean, they're not – I don't care who it is.
Yeah, they don't need us to call them and say, hey, do you remember this guy?
They've looked at everybody that can possibly pick up a football and throw it and had a conversation about each and every one of them, and they're going to evaluate each and every one of them if the time comes that they need to add somebody. So, don't hey, you think they're looking at this guy? They're looking at everybody out there that has a chance of lining up and playing quarterback for not only this football team, but any football team out there right now.
There's no secrets.
No.
There's no secrets to anybody out of football, in football. Adam Gase went around the room last night and said, hey, you were with that guy before. What'd you think? It's a big fraternity.
Yes.
No, there's no surprise. They can call a buddy, hey, didn't like the guy, pain in the ass. I mean, they can go through the whole thing.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Hey, Joe, I had a chance today to see a little bit more of Devontae Parker out there, and boy, I tell you, he doesn't.
Does he look like a different guy?
It's really amazing. It
From
really
last
is
year,
amazing.
even on his good games, Bo, the way his quickness, his body looks different.
Yeah, and just and always one arm away from breaking the thing to go the whole way. And I mean, separation, everything you're looking for, presents himself well. You got a guy that it's funny. Here's a guy that the light switch, boom, went between the end of last year and this year. That light switch went on. And it don't look like it's going to dim anytime soon.
Bo, he's got a confident walk when he warms up now. The way he walks around and comes in and out. It's not just somebody telling you, hey, you're really good, man. You were a first round. There's a reason. He's figured it out. He had enough good games, and I think he's really going to – I mean, Bo, he looks quick. They used to tell me he could run with Kenny Stills. I didn't believe it. I'm watching him run now, and I said, it'd be a pretty good foot race.
Yeah, between those two. Hey, let's go a couple questions here. Periscope, Fins Up 2016. What's up with the guards now with the injury to Larson? Larson went out yesterday. They're saying it's a bicep. Today, Jake Brendel filled the spot. Steen was at center. So there's enough guys in there. There were some guys out there. Orlando Franklin was out there, and they said, hey, look, we're set. We've got some depth and everything. So this is where they test their depth and see what they're at. So I think they'll be all right. And Larson, who knows what that's going to turn out to be. He kind of went under the radar yesterday with all the Tannehill stuff. But it's certainly an issue. It's certainly a concern. The one guy that I look out at the draft pick, Asiata, and he's getting thrown around a little bit. He's a guy that needs to
grow up fast, Bo.
Figure out his base here a little bit and how to keep his feet on the ground.
I agree, and I worry about his confidence a little bit when you're not having success. But I mean, he's got to be on a mission. When the coach got to go, look at Asiata. We like you. You got to play better, and you got to keep getting better at the preseason because you may have to play. But I give you the key to this whole thing on that line. Having Mike Pouncey back will take a lot of pressure off this guard play. Yeah. So whatever it takes for Mike Pouncey, and I talked to him the other day, he said, I don't need a lot of work. I'll be ready.
Good centers make average guards all pros.
We played with a guy that made our guards, and they got to go to Pro Bowl. I saw Dwight have guys go to Pro Bowls playing on both sides of him. And you're right, when Dwight's dominating.
Yeah. Facebook, Caleb Gonzalez. How does the team feel about Matt Moore? Well, look, I think the coaching staff has confidence in Matt Moore. I think this football team, anybody who was on this football team last year, when Ryan went down, he stepped into the confidence that he brought to the table. I don't think there's anyone in that huddle that doesn't feel very, very good or very happy right now that they got Matt Moore on their roster.
Oh, yeah. And Matt did enough as a player. Those receivers loved him. He got the ball out, got it to different guys. They had big games with him. They caught some deep passes with him. Matt Moore is a guy with that personality that is great for the locker room. I got kind of like a Don Strock going old school. I don't know if you thought.
Yeah, very much
like Don Strock. I could go to Don Strock before anybody else. And I stroke, kind of down my personal life or whatever was going on. And you could go to Don Strock, man, for life as well as football, and he was there for you.
You were in the huddle with Don Strock. I don't care what kind of chaos was going on. Quarterback just went down, whatever. You're behind, and he'd walk in the huddle and, hey, settle down, guys.
Let's go.
Just relax.
I know. We don't worry about plays on the side. We'll get them.
We'll take care of it.
Yeah.
You know, and I think Matt
Moore's that guy.
Brings that same type of a feel to that locker.
California personality. Yeah. I think the guys feel they can go to him.
Yeah. Here goes Amos Crowley Jr. on Facebook. What do you guys think about Cutler and Gaze back together? I don't know what kind of shape Jay Cutler's in. I don't know. You know, to me right now, is Jay Cutler an improvement over Matt Moore? I think you may be splitting hairs.
I'll tell you, Steph, I'd rather have Matt Moore start than
for
Jay Cutler.
For a lot of reasons. You know, Jay Cutler,
you can say it.
The guy's been a problem everywhere he's been.
It's just like there's something missing
he's not Brandon
in that
Marshall
personality.
He's not far away.
No, you're right. You know? But there's things that are just with the team and his reputation. So that way, he didn't get one call. He didn't get picked up by one team.
Exactly. Yeah.
So now you can ask for a bunch of money to come here. Yeah. I mean, I don't know. And then.
Yeah. Look, let me tell you what. If they were to sign him, you would know that Adam Gase gives him a stamp of approval. But, you know, we'll see. I don't know what his relationship with is, but Adam knows him inside and out. You know that.
Bo, you want to come back and play football. If these reports are true, then come back and play football. Yeah. But don't guarantee me you have to be the starter and you have to make a certain amount of money. I mean, show me.
Show the Periscope people, man. At Seaweed954. Look at Joe with them Daisy Dukes on. You think he's throwing you got some short shorts? Those aren't short shorts.
No, they're actually long and baggy.
They're long, yeah.
No, I'm getting ready.
Them up.
I got a little tennis game at noon.
Who do you?
I got one that can win, and it's a hot day, and I want to give.
Who are you playing, Iron Whitman?
I'm playing a 2-setter, and I expect it to be 6-1 or 6. First of all, if you beat me too much, I don't play with you. If you dominate me, and I'm running all over, puking and throwing up in this heat, I got to be able to win.
Yeah. Greg George, Facebook, any consideration for, I'm messing this thing up, for Fitzpatrick. I don't know what Fitzpatrick's is. But then again, I'm going to go back to what I said originally. If they're out
first of all, he's a backup quarterback for Tampa Bay.
If they can hold the football in their hand, if they can do something, and they're available.
Sweet Lou.
Lou, how you doing?
Sweet Lou's coming by.
Birthday coming up, man. Huh? My man, Lou Amorano got
I'll tell you one
birthday.
Thing. Sweet Lou's guys got a lot better, too. Lou, nice to have you back for another year, man. If we're all here, we're all working. It's good.
Off-season, good.
It's all good, so it's good.
What's for lunch?
We got a little,
open it up. Open up. People like to know what you're eating.
People want to know what you're eating there.
So.
I had all summer, which was pizza, so I did good. I'm going a little.
Geez, broccoli.
So now you're healthy? Now you're eating healthy?
That's disgusting.
Pizza and pasta.
They don't have hot dogs in there. They don't have chili and cheese dogs in there.
They don't have that stuff, Bo, anymore.
Nothing. No fried.
What happened to the old league, man? Gosh, that's bad, Lou.
Man.
Good to see him, man.
I tell you what, you got to be happy with that group he's got back there, huh? Defensive.
It was a year ago. We were like, what we can do for DB?
Man.
How about what a difference a year makes in the secondary? It's a good room.
Crowded room, yeah. Let me see who else. That's it. Hey, look, you go ahead and send your questions in. We're kind of new back to Facebook. We're on Facebook Live.
I don't even know we're on.
Early on, we're on Facebook Live. We're on Periscope right now. But early on, we were on Facebook Live, and then we switched over to Periscope. We're back on Facebook Live now, so we got to kind of get this audience going back here a little bit for the Audible and catch up with us so we can get your questions and get your thoughts on out there. How about San Fran Kid 21? Who else is out there?
Devontae, you got a sec? We were just talking about how Devontae, you look different, you walk different, you're running. You look like a different guy. I mean, it's amazing talking about a jump out so far.
You know, I'm just feeling healthy and I'm just ready to go, get going.
All right, let me put you 40 yards from the end of the line, and Kenny Stills is standing next to you. Who gets there first?
Probably me.
There you go. That's what I like to hear.
Devontae, you keep it going, man. Great camp.
Hey,
great camp, great stuff.
Out there, man. Good seeing it.
He looks quick. Even his walk. Look at his walk even after practice, Bo. He looks confident even after practice.
You're a veteran, man. Oh, okay, I got you. All right, it's one of those things. All right.
I had to grab him in there, man.
No. But you know what? It's funny. I'd seen him for the last couple years. See him down in Fort Lauderdale. He hang with Jarvis, and Jarvis, they're Fort Lauderdale guys, and you'd see him, and he was always kind of behind Jarvis. Always stayed back. When you'd come up, he'd kind of duck his head a little bit.
Yeah.
Quiet guy. He's coming out of his shell. He's becoming a
different guy. Confidence
and boy,
now
I'll tell you what, the play out there.
Bo, he's probably had the three receivers as advertised, but Devontae Parker, for people who have been out here, his body looks different. His mindset, Bo, and he's catching everything. He looks quick coming out of his breaks, deep passes, quick post patterns, the corner routes, just unbelievable.
I really believe over the last couple of years that Jarvis has been a huge influence on him. I just remember at the end of last year,
I agree.
You'd see him land some big hits and maybe talking a little smack. I mean, I think that this time that he spent with Jarvis is really, let him understand, made him a different guy, a more confident guy, and a guy that's thinking like Devontae. Hey, ball's in my hand. I'm going to turn this into a big play.
I agree. If you're around Jarvis Landry, and I know his contract deal is still ahead and dealing with that, but you want to talk about a leader. And that group, Kenny Stills also is a leader. And by the way, Kenny has quietly had a great camp and just so sharp. I'm really excited. Like, if you're a quarterback and you find out you got a chance to play for the Dolphins with that, and you're looking with your agent, and you look at all the weapons, including those three running backs, Kenyon Drake is another guy, Bo, is running at a different speed.
No doubt about it.
Skill position.
Getting back to the receivers a little bit, Joe. The one thing that I liked what I saw last year, and it kind of takes me back to, when the group we had for a while there, where everybody respects everybody else in that room. Everyone wants everyone else in that room to be successful. Whether you're running a clearing route or whether you're blocking for somebody,
totally agree.
These guys are playing in that unit as well as a team, as well as a group, as I've seen around this football team for a long, long time.
You hit something that when everybody's buying into what you're doing, you got to clear out on this route. You're not getting the ball, but you got to clear out so we can hit a deep square in. So you ain't getting the ball, but you got to get safety out of there. They take pride in that now. And Adam Gase says, listen, everybody's going to have their moments, but if you think we're going to throw it to you 15 times every game, it ain't going to happen. But we'll get the ball more. You do what your part is, even if it doesn't show up in the stat sheet. You're helping us. You're a big plus.
You see those
they're
guys,
buying in.
Guy gets a big play. Guy scores a touchdown. Always runs over to that guy that threw the block for him, that sprang him. And I think that type of thing too can permeate this whole football team. And I think it has. I think this football team, to me, is a very unselfish football team, from the defensive line to the wide receivers to the quarterback room. To everybody in here.
Chris, what's going on? Anything going on?
Like, I've noticed there are more people out here media-wise. What's going on here?
I don't know. I just figured you guys would tell me. Yeah.
We never see you, man.
You tell us. You're always in the background there, man. We never see you.
Much in the background. I've been getting on them, Bo.
Hey, it's about the team, the players, and Coach Gase.
So, all right.
I'll tell you one thing. This team's got great chemistry. We were just talking about the chemistry of this group, which you guys really put an emphasis on. It's got to be as good, and not just talking about X's and O's, but guys that are buying in 24 hours the way you want them.
Yeah, I said it was a tough day yesterday for everyone, but the guys rallied. I mean, the coaching staff did a great job of the message that, hey, it's the NFL. Unfortunately, injuries happen, and no one feels sorry for us. We got to get back to work. And I thought today the guys focused. It was a great practice today. So.
It just seems to be an extension of what you guys built during the course of last year. A team that's unselfish, that'll do things to help their other guy make a play if they need to. When Joe and I were just talking about a receiver running a clearing route, to pull a safety for something and wanting to do it. And it seems like that's permeating this football team, whether it's the offensive line, defensive line, linebackers, very much a team-oriented group. And I think that's what every coach and general manager strives for.
Yeah, we spent, the off season and everything just talking with the guys, all the great teams. You guys know the teams you guys were on. The guys were like family, and they were close. And it was so. I mean, we had a lot of young guys, so it helps. But the veterans have been unbelievable in rallying the guys and including them and everything. So, this whole last 3-4 months, through the off season now, it's been great. And these guys spend a lot of time, and it's a really good group, fun group to be around. I'm sure those guys love coaching them.
I wanted to ask you a question at night, and not just because last night with Ryan Tannehill. I think a lot of people would be interested at the end of a night when you got 89 guys out here. You guys evaluate guys every night who'll go through different positions?
We're watching the whole team every day. You're right. It's just, right now, I said, especially with the rosters and everything the way it is, you don't want to make a mistake of letting a guy go here. And, as a few years ago, we had a offensive lineman that ended up going to start for another team on like 14 games. But we were out here in shorts and
it's hard to tell,
the off-season stuff, and someone didn't like how he looked, and they ended up moving on from him, and then we had offensive line problems. So, you got to evaluate everything, watch these guys every day, and just see how they grow, and especially now with the pads starting to come on, this is where it separates the men from the boys.
Just talk about the good. Don't ever bring up that stuff. Always beat your chest on the good stuff.
You got to learn from your mistakes.
Chris, thanks for stopping by, Chris.
Thanks, Chris. Thank you, man.
Chris Greer, general manager of the Miami Dolphins. It's good to get Chris in here a little bit.
That doesn't happen very much. Chris coming in. Was he supposed to come in?
No, he just jumped.
How about that? Chris Greer.
He's a fan of the Audible, man.
He just came over. Like, Chris doesn't talk. He really is. You were talking about a GM in the background. My man's taking background to a new level.
All right. Speaking of background, Joe, we got to run out.
But we're having a great time. Devontae came over. Chris Greer came over.
Look at these.
Hey, did you throw your flag? We got official. Were you there? You don't start throwing that thing.
There you go.
You can see the ratings. You guys are. There you go. Look at this. Official in today's practice. This is a guy right here throwing the. Stop throwing the flag. Come on over here.
It's the first right call.
Come over here, flag thrower.
That's the first right call he's made all day.
Hey, man, we're doing good,
maybe the first good call you've made all training camp throwing that flag.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
Hey, well, you guys do you feel pressure out there that you got to throw it, or the coach Gase ever tell you, hey, stop throwing that damn thing so much, for Christ's sakes, put it away.
Never have any pressure.
How much shit do you get from people out in the field right there?
Very, very little. I'm a very good politician.
You're good, man.
Yes,
you're made for it. Hey, thanks for coming over, man.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
We'd spend more time with you, but they're trying to throw us off.
Yeah, they're trying to get us off. It's a wrap.
No one else is doing anything.
End of the game.
No one else on Facebook is doing anything else. They're just watching us. So we want to clear it up for Facebook. Hey, Joe, thanks for stopping by.
Well, thanks, bro.
Good
That's
show.
good
Andre
stuff,
Carter
man.
with us.
Nice.
Chris Greer with us.
Oh, you got a Berkeley guy on here? You brought a little.
Andre Carter brought him on here.
We're all Cal guys
we
now.
We brought him along to talk about his son Quincy.
All right,
that's going to do it for the Audible. We'll be back on Monday. Where are we going to be on Monday, Leon? We're going to be right here, same time, about the same place after practice.
Same
spot.
We're
going to be a lot during training camp, so stick with us. Remember, tell your friends, Facebook, Periscope. You can see us live. Get your questions in, and we'll get them answered when we go through the program. Have a good weekend, and we'll see you on Monday.